Morning. It's day 6 on the Appalachian Trail, Pennsylvania. I am standing outside of the ATC, getting ready to hike out of Boiling Springs. And this is where I stopped yesterday and went to spend the night at a hostel, and I totally lost my little yellow Swiss Army knife, and I was hoping I would come back here and find it, and I did. So I just enjoyed breakfast at Cafe 101 again, and this came over here to see if my knife was here, and it was. So now I'm gonna go hiking. Should be a good day. I have read and seen that this next stretch to the shelter, Darlington shelter, which is 14 miles away. You can't camp on this 14-mile section, and there's water, but apparently they don't recommend drinking it because it's filled with pesticides because of farming, blah blah. But it's also supposed to be one of the easiest stretches in Pennsylvania. So I like the idea. I like the sound of that. I caught a ride back into town with 4 guys from Georgia who stayed at the hostel last night, Lisa's hostel. It was great. I got a shower and did my laundry. And the 4 guys from Georgia are on the way to the White Mountains for basically 2.5 weeks of hiking in the Whites, car camping, doing a little backpacking, and they want to do Franconia Ridge and the Presidentials. They're gonna have a great time. I love the White Mountains. The trail names were JJ, Chainsaw, Silver Fox, and Pappy. They were probably around the same age as me, maybe slightly older, but really nice guys. It was a lot of fun to meet them and chat with them. One of my favorite things on the trail, the old stone walls. I was just thinking about the original people who walked the Appalachian Trail. How in the world did they know how far they were walking before modern technology? Was there some kind of a device? Did they just have an internal GPS and they knew what a mile was? Like, how did they know how long the trail was? Was there did they take one of those rolly things with them? How does anybody know? How does anybody know what a mile is? That's a fun little gate. You know, the West Coast has big, beautiful, vast terrain, but there is nothing like the old world charm of the East Coast. East Coast, hands down, is the best coast. I'm a little bit excited because there's a friend of mine who's gonna meet up with me at the Darlington shelter and spend the night. So stay tuned for that. Special guest. I have really got to stop packing so much water. I'm not in the desert anymore, but I keep packing water like I am. 4 liters of water is too heavy, and I have not had trouble finding water on the trail. Yep, I'm gonna drink up this 3 liters and just start carrying only like 2 liters. Well, I hope that gunshot wasn't aimed at anything living. I'm looking at the mountains in the distance. That's where I'm headed. I don't think I will. I don't know if I'll get there to that mountain section today. Maybe. I don't know. Well, I just had my first fall on the trail. Getting my buff soaking wet in the little creek that I just passed. Good news is I wasn't wearing my pack. That's always more disastrous because the pack is so bloody heavy. Anyway, hopefully that will be the last fall I have on the trail. 2 miles left to get to the shelter. And of course now there's an 800-foot climb over 2 miles, which is not terrible, but I really wish the climbing was at the beginning of the day, because that's when I have all the energy. Now, how in the world does that actually happen? That's some kind of a vehicle frame. How in the world? That makes no sense. I have made it to, I don't know, what is the shelter? Darlington shelter. And I told you I had a friend who was gonna meet me. This is Alpha Gal. You can find him on YouTube, Chryzaconi. Is it Chryzaconi or Chryzaconi?
Yeah. Aconi?
Aconi. He has a YouTube channel. He's YouTube famous. YouTube famous. He's got like 2,000 subscribers. YouTube famous. So I'm really glad to be done. The last mile was the hardest mile, and now I'm gonna get water. I'm gonna take my shoes off, put my flip-flops on, and relax for the rest of the day. I will see you guys tomorrow.